Alright guys, so we've got a 2013 Ford F-150 with the 5-liter engine. We have a coolant leak is the problem with this vehicle, and where this thing's leaking at is, if you look at this Y pipe, this upper radiator hose right here, where this quick coupler is at, you can actually see right on the bottom that it's leaking. It's not a bad leak, it's just dripping out of there. I do have it pressured up, and so what we're gonna attempt to do is remove this quick coupler and see if we can replace just the O-ring. Now this truck's only got 58,000 miles on it, so all the hoses look fine. So we're going to see if we can get away with replacing the O-ring. You can buy just the O-ring. I'll put links to this, because if you've got one of these vehicles, you might want to go ahead and just order the $12 little O-ring kit. Throw it in your glove box. That way when this happens, because this is a very common problem right here. It leaks here, and they also leak right here at this other quick coupler. But the O-rings are like $12 if you order them online. If you get them at the local auto parts store, they're about $25. So that's highway robbery, in my opinion. The upper radiator hose, if you decide to change that, that's about $70 at the local auto parts store. I'll put a link to this to where you can order it off Amazon a lot cheaper. And this Y pipe right here, you've got a little Y pipe's got a hard plastic piece right here. And then it's got a little rubber hose right here, and that's also a good idea to change that whenever you take this apart, because like I say, it will start leaking down here too. You can replace just the O-ring. The problem is trying to get this piece off after you've got quite a few miles on it. To replace just the O-ring down here is very, very difficult, because this upper hose is going to be more brittle and rigid, and trying to get this on and off is going to be a real pain. So you're going to want to just go ahead and replace this with a new one if you have to uncouple it from right here. Uncoupling it from right here is no big deal, because you don't really disturb this Y pipe at all. You're just pulling the upper radiator hose off. So let me get this off. It's real easy to do. I've already got the air box removed, and the plenum, not the air box, but the upper part of the air box for the air filter. Of course, you've got the quick coupler right here for the PCV hose, or PCV valve. All you do here to uncouple that is just lift that up and then push it over and pop that right off. Then you got a hose right here that just pulls off, and then the whole system is pretty much, the whole duct is pretty much removed. So let me get the camera set up, and let me get a little pick, and we're going to get this hose off and see if I have an O-ring in my kit that will work for that. If not, I'm going to have to make a trip to the auto parts store. Now I don't know if you've noticed, but the serpentine belt is removed. The guy wants the owner wants the serpentine belt changed, so I went ahead and removed it. And once I finish this job here with the coolant leak, I'm going to put a new serpentine belt on it. Anyway, let me get the camera set up. Okay, I'm going to get this clip off here. Can't see anything. As usual, the camera's kind of in my way. One clip. There's the hose. You can see the O-ring. I'm going to try to keep this held up so I don't spill any more coolant than has to be spilled. Right behind this little white piece is the O-ring. And it's a real rubbery O-ring. So I'm probably not going to have a real rubbery one, but hopefully I'll have one that'll work. Okay, so what Ford's done is made sure that this is an oddball O-ring so that your standard O-ring kits don't have anything. So I'm going to have to make a trip to the auto parts store. So, off to the auto parts store I run. Alright guys, here's the part number to the Dorman O-ring kit. It comes with 3 different O-rings. And you might shop around for this. I'll put a link to these. The cheapest you're going to get them is online. The 2 prominent auto parts stores that are close to me is O'Reilly's and AutoZone. O'Reilly's price for these was $28. AutoZone's was $15.99. So O'Reilly's ended up matching the price, or they got close to it. They said they couldn't actually get down that low. But you can get them for $10 to $12 online. So I'd go ahead and buy them now, throw them in your glove box, because eventually you're going to have this problem. But anyway, let me get the right O-ring out of here, and we'll get it put in the upper radiator hose, and we'll get this thing put back together. And what you got 2 O-rings that are the same size. Hold on a minute. You got 2 large ones, 1 smaller one. Now, I'm not sure what they're all for unless it's different make and model. I'm assuming that this one and the one that goes in here are the same size. I don't know where the smaller one would go. I only see those 2 quick disconnects, unless there's another one somewhere, maybe on the radiator itself, or maybe it's dependent on year, make, and model. But anyway, we're going to go with the larger one. We're going to get this thing put together and go from there. I'm going to get a little bit of coolant. You just kind of stick it in here and then you work it around. I've got to work around this camera, so. It's that easy. Make sure it's wet with coolant. Make sure the plastic fitting there is in good shape. We're going to put the clip back in. Put the clip in all the way. And then whenever you stick it back on the deal here, it will snap. Okay. And I pinched off the upper heater hose just so that I didn't lose any more coolant than I needed to. I also did the degas bottle hose. So now I'm going to start filling it up with the coolant, and then I'll pressure check it before I start it, and still got to get that serpentine built on. Alright guys, I got my other pressure tester out, got it pumped up, and absolutely 0 leaks. Holding a solid, whatever we're at, about 13 psi. Been sitting here for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put the plenum back on, and then start it up and let it warm up. Alright guys, so I've had it running for about 15-20 minutes. It's completely topped off, completely at operating temperature. Make sure that before you take off and drive somewhere that you let it come up to full operating temperature, and that it does not go into an overheat situation, because on some year, make, and model vehicles you can have air pockets, and you will swear that you've got it completely topped off with coolant, everything's good. You get down the road and you find out that the water pump's just been cavitating in a pocket of air, and you're not getting any circulation, and now you're in an overheat situation and you're broke down on the side of the road. So make sure that it's completely warmed up It's a good idea to cycle the ignition, let it cool down for a few minutes, start it back up, rev the engine up a little bit to make sure that you're getting full circulation through the heater hoses. Make sure you fill your upper radiator hose, make sure that it's warm, and make sure that you're at full operating temperature on your gauge, if you have a gauge, and that you're, in this case, this degas bottle is completely topped off. So anyway, this was a quick and simple fix. Again, if I owned one of these trucks, I would go ahead and order that $12 O-ring kit right now, and I throw it in my glove box. That way, when and if that starts leaking, you've already got the O-ring to fix it. It's a super easy fix if you've already got the O-ring. If it's leaking bad enough and you're not going to be able to drive it to the auto parts store, now you're going to be stuck wherever you're at. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. You guys take care, and we'll see you in the next one.